This is Rob Tubman for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted as always to be joined by promoter, manager, matchmaker extraordinaire, Mr. Siesta. We're here in London following the Avanesyan-Kelly press conference. How are you, Al?
I'm fantastically well, my friend. Thank you. Nice to see you. It's been about 3 hours since everyone left. Cool.
It's nice to see you too. And yes, we are here putting in the hard yards after everybody has already gone home. Let's talk about your fighter, Luther Clay, in a brilliant fight. Honestly, a really brilliant fight. For anybody who's not watching, or has not seen Luther Clay or CLAYKONGO, or is not that familiar, that is a brilliant fight. You manage Luther Clay. Talk to me about that fight.
Let me tell you that what I understood today, that no one really gives Luther Clay a chance. Everyone comes to me saying, Al, you're a professional matchmaker and you know things. What's wrong with you? Why did you take that fight? And I said to him, gave him a Russian answer. If we can't go past CLAYKONGO, what the fuck are we doing in this game? Let me tell you that. That's why we took this fight.
I understand that. But you must understand as well that CLAYKONGO, somebody who's been an established amateur, somebody who's been around the circuit and is really known on the inner circles as a very competent fighter. So I think it's fair to say that it did raise a few eyebrows when we saw Luther Clay versus CLAYKONGO. Can you see why people may think that? Obviously you think otherwise, but can you see people's opinion?
I don't think otherwise, but you know I'm a crazy man. I like my 50-50s. You know this, yeah? CLAYKONGO is a fantastic amateur. I ran his background checks on a good way, yeah? And great technique, can punch, great movement, very slick, intelligent. Yes, I understand that. But how can we shy away of the guy who is 240 on box rec, which is box rec means nothing. Everyone knows that. But Chris, you've been staffed with our fights for a very long time, correct? So Luther is also, no one wants to fight Luther. So might as well get it on, you know, it's a logical thing. And we're not picking and choosing. I'm representing the fighter. His name is Luther Clay. You are a fighter. So how can we shy away? So you're welcome. Welcome to the, I wanted to say a bad word, but I don't want to say that. Basically, welcome to this brutal reality.
Luther Clay's got a new trainer. Talk to me about that. He's now training with Adam Martin. Fairly recent change in training. What was the reasons behind that?
Luther is a very stubborn guy. He likes certain things his own way, and I understand that this comes from upbringing. And Gennady, the ex-trainer, Russian G, also known as Russian G in Southampton, is a Russian brutalizer, chauvinist, everything politically. He's absolute non-PC, everything wrong for the United Kingdom for that guy. So him and Luther just rubbed off on each other completely and parted. And Adam is a great, competent guy, great operator, speaks perfect English, and that language barrier is not existent anymore. So Luther fully understands instructions and they gel very well. And we all get on with Adam, and he's got great pedigree, I think. He's a very competent guy. And in the team effort, in terms of with strength and conditioning specialist that we're working with, Louis Sims, and myself and Adam as a trainer, I think we can gel very nice melting pot, and we can bring it together. So CLAYKONGO have to be ready for that fight, because Luther will come to fight, you know that. I mean, one thing Luther doesn't like, it's bollocks. He will bring it. He will bring it. The harder you punch him, the more you're going to bring it in. So, yeah, it's brilliant.
Saw a few words exchanged today as well at the press conference. It was quite a spicy press conference overall, to be honest. But between CLAYKONGO and Luther Clay, two people who I know fairly well and two guys who I've not really seen that from before, there was a little bit of spice between them.
It was a spice. And, Chris is a really nice guy. I mean, he said something about, after I saw, when Sky interviewed him, he said something about South London streets or something like that. Let me tell you, my man. Luther Clay been in Abkhazia. Just Google the area. You could see people on the side of the road cooking another man and eating. So that's streets in my liking. That's streets. London is streets, but that's streets next level. So I wasn't really sure. I thought, what is it meaning? I mean, what can English mean? What kind of Englishman can mean about the streets? What does? I come from Russia. That's streets as well. But I understand what he's saying. Luther was very respectful. And it was a bit of a needle because Luther is South African. He's a Zulu warrior, isn't he?
Would you say I'm from the streets?
You are. No, you don't look like you're from the streets. You're very non-streets, I think. But you could be streetwise, but doesn't mean you come from the streets. I'm not from the streets either. I'm come from middle-class family. My father is an architect and my mother is genetical engineer. But I've got a bit street in me because it's just the area I grew up in, South Moscow, horrible area.
What's a genetic engineer? Sounds like you're like a clone or something like that.
Not me. My mother is a professor of genetical engineering. She's a scientist. She was a gynecologist for 20 years. Then she went on write dissertation and on genetics and stuff. It's very, very interesting things. Genetical engineering is the future, by the way, but it's a topic for the next time.
Yeah, I think we could probably have a good interview about that. Conor Benn's on this card as well. That's a name that's been floated around for a long time by yourself, by Luther Clay. All being well, and he comes through Clay-Kongo on March the 28th for the O2. Is that a fight that you could realistically target for 2020?
Conor is a nice kid, and I saw him. He came in and he kind of nodded at me like politely. We had a bit of an exchange on Twitter. He started it, I didn't do it. So he said, like, this fool brings my name more than he talks about me, more than about his fighters. And first of all, fool is a little bit harsh word. And I just said, I think I replied something like, you should be privileged. You are privileged to be mentioned, my son, something like this, which he knows what I mean. But if Conor said today in the interview that he's a fighter, he will fight anyone who put in front of him. And if this is the fight that is coming, no problem. But don't look past Clay-Kongo. I saw in Kongo's eyes he's a serious guy. And he's a very, very big talent. That's why you all guys bewildered why I took that fight. But Chris, we took the fight because we want to fight you. And we're giving you a chance. This is your chance to fight for the WBO Global. Because people called me in the past and said, can you match Clay-Kongo? And I thought even to offer him my services once upon a time. But now you found a home. You're with Dillian White, who is a great guy, fighter, fantastic setup. He's a great team. I wish you luck, brother. If you win, you win. You progress to next level. If Luther wins, you can always come back. So for me, it's win-win. Boxing always wins, I'm saying. Boxing always wins.
I think bewildered is maybe a little bit strong. I think people are, pleasantly surprised that two guys who could definitely have got other fights have chosen to fight each other. Move to the top of the bill. Somebody else you know very, very well from your time working with him is Mr. David Avanesyan, who is European champion, defends his European title against Josh Kelly in the main event. What do you make of that fight?
Unbelievable fight. I'm really glad that the fight is eventually happening. I know David very well. David looks fantastic. He's a bit, he's in shape, he's loving the life. He's never been the kind of guy that would contemplate about his confidence. He's a real operator, real professional. So Adam and Josh got work to do. But I also know, as an insider, what Josh been doing, and Josh will bring it. He will come to fight. So the fight that I can't comment on in terms of outcome, because I've got no idea what's going to happen. We can all contemplate, Avanesyan going to lay him down with a body shot, late stoppage, or Kelly going to outbox him, or maybe with barrage of punches he will stop David, or whatever. I heard different opinions. Guys, that will be cracking fight. That's all I know, and I can't wait. And I'm very proud to have Luther Clay on the undercard.
What did you make of the back and forth between Adam Booth and somebody else you know very well, Neil Marsh, today, who was, of course, manager and promoter for David Avanesyan?
I know very well Adam Booth, and I know quite well Neil Marsh. Completely two different individuals. Neil is a very, very emotional individual. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves fighters. He's all or nothing type of guy. And Adam is they call him Dark Lord. He's very reserved, very precalculated, very kind of decoy-wise withdrawn from what's happening, but he really doesn't miss a thing. So it was interesting. It was nice. Nice little needle, I think. We need things like that to spice it up, do you know what I mean? I like the condom and the plastic rose kind of thing. I don't know what that was for. But, yeah, it's okay. It's good.
Maybe Neil Marsh was lonely on Valentine's Day.
Today is a Valentine's Day, but Neil, for some reason, didn't mention it. That what Neil should have said. Today is a Valentine's Day, and here it is. Adam, and if I would be Adam, I would have said, do you want to pull your pants down when I got that condoms? But that would have been really beautiful, but it didn't happen. So we missed the tricks, guys.
Let's get you up on the top table. You promised
Yeah.
some fireworks with
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Al Siesta when you're on the top table. Okay, I think that's probably about it on the show on March the 28th. Do you have anything else? You usually have like a quite interesting nugget of information for me. Have you got anything for me before I let you go?
I've got shitloads of information, but I can't disclose it, not because it's you or anything, because I'm gonna get sued. but loads of very, very good fights are coming. Loads. Very interesting, loads of 50-50s. Guys, 2020 season will be spectacular, insane, absolute bonanza. I can't wait for it. People said about it that I look a bit younger than I was end of the year. You know why? Season just starting. Let's speak in December. You'll be speaking to the different man. No, I'll try to stay healthy and everything. So, guys, I love you.
And they love you too. Before I let you go, one word answer. One word answer. Wilder or Fury?
Wilder.
Al Siesta, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Take care, my brother.